Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. And I would just share with everyone that nominating a candidate to the state's highest court is an honor and a responsibility, and I take that very seriously as governor. A responsibility to the people of the state of Rhode Island to nominate someone with unquestionable qualifications, an impeccable reputation, and a strong record of sound and fair judgment. I want to thank the Judiciary Nominating Committee for providing me with 5 highly qualified choices. And I want to thank each of the candidates for the service to our state and for taking the time to meet with me and share their experiences. I'm proud to say this was a fair and transparent vetting process. Ultimately, I chose a candidate who not only meets the high standards required for this role, but represents the best of Rhode Island. Let me just share a little bit of Judge Matos' background. For the past 14 years, Judge Matos has served as an Associate Justice of the Rhode Island Superior Court. He has experience working as an Assistant U.S. Attorney in Rhode Island and Delaware, and has served in both the Executive Office of U.S. Attorneys and the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. Judge Matos immigrated to this country as a child who did not speak English, who did not come from privilege, yet exceeded all expectations to graduate first from Brown and then from law school. Even though he had built an acclaimed career in D.C., he made the decision to come home to Fox Point, where he grew up, and give back to the people of the state of Rhode Island. The judge has served his home state with honor ever since. Let me introduce you today to my nominee for the Supreme Court, Judge Louis Matos. Judge.
Thank you, Governor. I'm honored and humbled by the trust that the Governor has placed in me. I've been a Superior Court judge for 14 years, and I'm fully aware of the responsibility to the law and to the people of Rhode Island that all those who take the oath bear, and I plan to continue to honor that oath. I am the product of the incredible opportunity that this country can provide to those who are nurtured, supported, and encouraged to pursue their passion and their dreams with hard work and focus. I am the product of an incredible bilingual education program at Fox Point Elementary School, now Varden Gregorian. More importantly, I am the product of parents and an extended family unit, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my adopted Fox Point family that encouraged and demanded that education was a priority and that the support was unconditional. I am also a product of the Portuguese community that is built on hard work, community, and lifting each other up. My many great generations have strived so that I and others could succeed. I stand on their shoulders and sacrifices. However, I've also worked hard to reach my goals through education and pursuing career opportunities that would allow me to serve the public well. In law school, I had a goal and a dream of working at the Department of Justice, and I was able to achieve that goal and that dream. And I'm proud of the work that I did both as a civil trial attorney in Washington, as well as a prosecutor both in Delaware and here in Rhode Island. Along the way, I've had many mentors who have provided me guidance and support. I know that many have not had the same opportunity and good fortune every day, and I try to be cognizant of that. And that's why I'm especially proud of the work that I've done on the Committee for Racial and Ethnic Fairness and the work that I've done in order to address court costs and fines that people bear in significant numbers in our state, where we've been able to remit approximately $1.2 million in those court costs. I am truly humbled by this opportunity and look forward to continuing with this process. Thank you, Governor.
So we'll take questions on topic.
Governor, do you have the mic?
Let's, I think we start here and move right across, okay? Make it nice and simple.
Moving across, if you hear me, Governor, thank you. Do you have assurances from General Assembly leaders that they will take up your nomination?
I met, as I always do, with both the President and the Speaker today, and asked them to come back, before session. At this point in time, just like I said, we would vet the whole process. They've committed to vet the process. So,
do you have a timeline with the leaders?
well, the timeline again is subject to the statute, right? So we want to make sure that we work out with them the timing that they can put their House and Senate back into session. So we're working out with those details right now to make sure that we, follow the statute. Okay.
Yeah.
Governor, did you not pick former House Speaker Shikarchi? Sorry.
Yes.
I didn't know it was
Yes.
supposed to be close.
Well, we want to make sure that people out there can hear your question.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yes.
Did you not pick former House Speaker Shikarchi because you believe it would have been a violation of the revolving door law? And if that's not the reason, what was the reason?
So as I said, we've had 5 candidates clearly that had the qualifications, and I selected what I felt was absolutely the best one for the highest court in our state with Judge Matos.
But that doesn't really answer my question.
Well, the consideration was we interviewed them all, went through the process that we always do. Our legal team interviewed all the candidates, then I interviewed all the candidates, and just like any other selection, anything that was in the interviews that was surrounded the candidates were considered, and then we picked the very best candidate. As you just heard, Judge Matos is clearly qualified to be in this position.
Can you take a position, please, on whether, had you chosen to appoint Shikarchi, it would have been a violation of the revolving door law, as Alina Folks has done?
Well, as we speak right now, that the court decision is in place. Unless there's another court decision, then it's qualifiable. We follow the court. We follow the law.
So why make the decision now and not wait for the Supreme Court to decide? The Ethics Commission is appealing Judge Leach's decision. Why not wait for that? Why do it now?
Well, first of all, I think that it's really important. The public is very interested in this issue, and they should know before they decide in this election, right? I mean, this is an area that we think that is very important, that people know where I stand. And we were in a situation that we were able to do the interviews, and clearly at this point in time, Judge Matos is the very best decision, and I think that the general public, once they hear this introduction, are going to agree.
Even if you had not considered Judge Matos the most qualified, would the revolving door provision have prohibited you, in your mind, from appointing Joe Shikarchi as a Supreme Court justice?
Again, I'm not on the courts, so the courts establish the law. Unless there's another decision that comes our way that reverses that, Speaker Shikarchi was a qualified candidate based on the law right now. I'm not going to change the law. We'll let the courts make those decisions, and then we'll follow the law.
Governor, you're in a tough re-election fight. What will you say to people if they ask you if you're doing this, avoiding the Shikarchi nomination and the controversy that goes with it for a perceived political gain?
Yeah, so what I would repeat is like I'm saying. We went through the process with the judicial nominating committee. Went through their process. We received qualified candidates. We went through the entire vetting process like we have every single other time. I think we've appointed close to nominated over 17 judges. I think this is our 18th. We followed the exact same procedure, and now we've made the what I believe is the most qualified of all the candidates, that were very qualified, but Judge Matos is the most qualified.
I believe we're 15 days out from when the JNC gave you the list of the 5 finalists. You, Governor Raimondo, other governors have often exceeded the 21 days specified in law for making a nomination. Why have you moved so quickly with this nomination?
I think it's in the public interest to know where the governor stands on this decision, whether they agree with it or they don't agree with it. But I can tell you, we went through the process. We didn't take any shortcuts, and we interviewed all the candidates in a way where they put their best foot forward. And at the end of the process, Judge Matos is clearly the individual that I believe is best suited to be nominated. And I encourage the General Assembly to come back and confirm his nomination. And as the question earlier, we're working with the General Assembly on the timing of when that's going to happen.
Governor, do you hold it against Joe Shikarchi that he teased his own run for governor?
I'm sorry, the question again?
Do you hold it against Joe Shikarchi that he teased his own run for governor?
No. I look at again, I'm going to just answer the question that was asked many times. Was there an agreement with the speaker in terms of doing anything? I think we've been very clear. There's been the former speaker, no agreement. And I think everybody has the right to choose what they want to choose, and I respected the former speaker's decision and his effort to be considered in this, in the selection process. But again, we did the selection process exactly the way that we've done it for the other 17 judges that I have nominated. And Judge Matos was my choice because I believe he's the most qualified. His background that he explained before, he's rubbed elbows with all walks of life around the country and in Rhode Island, and he's going to be a great nomination. And I'm looking forward to his confirmation as quickly as the General Assembly is willing to move on it.
Governor, did you talk to the other candidates beforehand? And I'm wondering specifically about the former House Speaker. Given your close relationship when he was the House Speaker, did you talk to him before this press conference to let him know he was not the pick? And if so, what was that conversation?
So our process is that and we follow that in every other selection, that I call the nominee, which I had a good conversation with the judge this morning. And then we have our legal team call the other candidates and let them know of the decision prior to making anything public.
So you personally did not talk to the Speaker about that?
I did not speak to the Speaker today, but I have spoken to all the candidates in my office with a very good interview process where there was full, disclosures and discussions, just like any other candidate, just like any other judgeship that we've put forward.
And just one more question. I know you've mentioned many times how Judge Matos was, you believe the best qualified candidate. Can you elaborate a little more on maybe during the interview process or looking at his resume, what made him stand out from all of the other 4 qualified candidates?
Well, he has a very strong record on the bench that he's serving on right now, and I'll let the judge, put the details to that. Clearly, that's not my area, but I know his record of his decisions has been impeccable. But also the way that he grew up. Look, there is a certain sense of camaraderie between me and the judge. We both grew up in a boys' club. We both rubbed elbows with every walk of life. I feel as though I know the judge, in terms of that experience. And he's going to bring that experience to the Supreme Court, where people all the people in the state of Rhode Island are going to feel as though that they're getting representation from him. And I think that that's an important piece in the discussions that I had with the judge.
Governor, there is still an appeal process right now underway with the Supreme Court. Do you feel as though it is still important that that process plays out so that there can be a ruling on this revolving door law once and for all?
Well, I'll leave that up to the courts. Personally, I think that if it's pursued, I'll certainly wait on their decision. But at this point in time, we're moving ahead with Judge Matos' nomination, and we believe that will be confirmed in a period of time that makes sense. We've got a vacant spot on that court right now, and they go back into session in September. So we want to make sure that happens as quickly as possible.
And a question for Judge Matos, if you don't mind.
Yes.
So this process is going to the Supreme Court. Unclear if that's still moving forward necessarily, but I do want to throw a hypothetical your way. If you already were sitting on the Supreme Court and this appeal had made its way to you with Speaker Shekarchi, how would you rule?
Frankly, I think it would be greatly inappropriate for me to comment on any matter that's pending before the Supreme Court at this time. That's a matter that is exclusively within the province of the decision makers, and the process should work its way out. And if there's a decision, then we'll follow it, obviously.
Let's go, Kathy, then Ian.
Okay. Two questions. One I didn't expect to ask. But Governor, you just said the legislature's coming back in September. That's interesting.
No, I didn't say that. I said that the Supreme Court is on leave, right? Not leave, but they're coming back to the bench, I believe, in September.
Okay, thank you. I
Yes.
must have misheard. I guess we all misheard that. But my other question is, and it's following up on, you have an option of appointing a woman, well-qualified woman, somebody who's been on the bench a long time, to replace a woman on the Supreme Court. You chose not to do that. So the two parts to that is, did you not think it was important to replace a woman with a woman, and did it have anything to do with her perceived pro-life beliefs?
Again, I put the best candidate forward. I put many, many women in front of the Senate. They've all been approved. The last two nominations that I made were two women that are highly qualified. So, in my opinion, I take who I believe at that point in time is the best qualified, and in this instance, to serve on the Supreme Court, which is our highest court in the land. So, all the considerations are put in place, but you make the best choice possible at the point in time. You only can pick one out of five, so we picked what I believe is the best candidate right now at this moment in time.
Ian, did you have a follow-up?
Yes. Two questions, Governor. If there is a subsequent opening on the Supreme Court and you're governor, would you rule in or rule out considering Joe Shekarchi?
Again, as I've said over and over again, and hopefully that I'm believed, right? We're going to go through the process. Whatever happens, our process set up with the Judicial Nominating Committee vets all the candidates, and then I'm repeating myself, but then the candidate come to me. Our legal team does a deep dive in terms of all the candidates, and then I interview them. So if the Judicial Nominating Committee sent a name to me, whether it was the former speaker or anyone else, we would provide them with the same professional courtesy that we provide all the candidates.
For Judge Matos, if you would speak at the podium, please. We live in a time of declining confidence and trust in government and courts. If you're confirmed to the Supreme Court, I wonder if you could comment on that issue in light of your service in government.
I'd be happy to. I agree, we do live in that time, unfortunately, and it's frankly one of the reasons I am proud of my work on the Committee on Racial and Ethnic Fairness, because that was a committee that was created by Chief Justice Sattel in response to our times and some of the issues of our times, in order to engage the community, in a way that is proactive, so that we can try to build some bridges, build some trust. And we've been working assiduously on that. It's one of the reasons we do a lot of public outreach. I hope to continue to do that, whether I'm confirmed or not, because it's certainly something that I'm passionate about. Given my background, given where I've come from, I understand how important that is, and how important it is to have trust in our institutions, because it's something that I grew up believing in. It's something that drew me to our institutions, and it's something that I have great concern about continuing to build, not only for our public, but also in particular for our younger generations.
Okay. We good?
No.
Please give Kathy the microphone. And speak clearly into the microphone, Kathy. So,
I'm going to try.
okay.
Judge, just a couple of personal details.
Sure.
Number one, how old are you? Number
Yeah.
two, from what town do you hail? Number three, you mentioned you were both in boys clubs, or grew up in boys clubs. Which boys club did
Sure.
you grow up in? And number four, I don't have your name spelled out in front of me, but it seems to be spelled the same way as Sabina Matos, the lieutenant governor. Even though your families come from different places, are you related?
Last one first, not related. Okay. So, I'm 62. I was born in Batalha, Portugal, which is in central Portugal, about an hour and 15 minutes north of Lisbon. In regards to the Boys Club, I started going to the Boys Club in Fox Point when it moved to its current location. And it's where I learned how to swim. As proud as I am of this honor today, I'm also pretty proud of the fact that I'm actually a member of the Fox Point Boys Club Hall of Fame. So I'm pretty proud of that as well. And so that's the Boys Club I grew up. As well, not only was it a place, it's a great facility. It was a great facility. It had a library right next door that I used to spend some time in. It's the place where I first wandered into a book about Martin Luther King. Just kind of sat and read and was obviously astounded by the story. So it was a central place in my life when I grew up in Fox Point after school. And you might have had another question in there. I'm not sure.
I probably.
Where you live now?
What town do you live in now? But you added one, which
Yeah.
is you're in the Hall of Fame for
Yes.
this one.
Yes. We live in Providence.
You live in Providence.
Yes.
How did you get to the Hall of Fame? What did you do?
I was lucky to be nominated by board members, because I think I was nominated because I was a member originally, and for some of my career accomplishments, and it was just a fun event. It's a fun nugget that I like, basically.
Can I just ask, Judge, what
Yeah.
is the Rhode Island judge you consider your greatest role model, and can you tell us a bit about your experience with marathons?
Okay. I'm not sure I have a Rhode Island judge that I consider, because it's like everything else. You take a lot from a lot of different people and so I think it would be unfair to single one out. I did appear before some great judges in Rhode Island, Judge Torres, Judge Lisi, Judge Laguerre, and I learned a lot from all of them when I was over in the federal system. So I have great respect for all the judges that I appeared before, and those that I currently work with. I certainly appreciate all those who run a courtroom in an even-handed manner, fair and even-handed manner, and who basically give all the parties their day, which is what I try to do every day. In regards to marathons, I find I accomplished a lifelong dream about 3 years ago, where I ran my very first marathon, and so I ran the Marine Corps Marathon back in 2024. I ran the Sugar Loaf last year, and I completed Boston this year. So, and I did that thanks to some of great coaching at the Ronald McDonald House Running Club that I belong to, and does a lot of great work supporting the Ronald McDonald House, and is just a great environment, a great community.
Okay. All right, thank you all. Appreciate it.